What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
Where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
So what's good, everybody? We're going to start this episode off by saying, rest in peace to my motherfucking brother, my dog, my road dog, my homie, my brother, my motherfucking best friend, Pablo fucking Tafoya. Juan Pablo Tafoya, rest in peace. Spidey, Pews, Spider, fucking however you knew him. Rest in peace, homie. I fucking love you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. That's what you see, this tattoo on my arm. If you're watching the video, 5/18/1986 was his birthday. 7/18/06 was when he passed away. So today we celebrate, man. It's a beautiful day today. It's always like very bittersweet, where it's just like, hell yeah, you know, like it's our boy's birthday, and at the same time it's like, fuck, man, I can't believe it. I miss you. I can't believe it's been this many years. Like, fuck, dude, doesn't even seem real, you know? And my boy Pablo's passing was a big part of what kicked off my journey to inner peace. And also, like I said, welcome back to Journey to Inner Peace. I realized on the last episode, I announced it as part 4. I'm sorry, I announced it as part 3, and it was actually part 4. And so now I'm going to officially say, welcome to episode 35, part 5.
Damn, dude.
Boom. Journey to Inner Peace, part 5. And so what we doing here, man? So just to recap you guys again, this started with panic attacks, death, my friends getting murdered, not having, you know, being cheated on, breaking my skull, neck, and back, getting fired, dropping out of firefighter school, not dealing with the deaths of, you know, somebody who I consider my second mom, rest in peace, Dorothy, not healing from the death of my sister, my great aunt, and my grandma, who all passed away in the same month when I was a kid, and all the other shit I had gone through. I had seen crazy shit. I seen people get I saw somebody get curb stomped, like legitimately mouth on the curb, fucking crack, right on fucking Weston Hill when I was a kid, when I was walking home from school in 7th grade. Like, I saw some crazy shit, dude. I saw people, fucking drug addicts everywhere, neighbors, had crackhead neighbors who literally would be fucking pedaling a fucking microwave or a TV on a beach cruiser down the street type shit, like sitting there waiting in the bushes, just fucking tweaking out, you know. And like, I remember seeing riots in my street coming home because of that. And then 2 neighbors, one was sleeping with the other neighbor's wife, and they used to fucking get down. And I remember coming home, seeing people's heads smashed through cars, and like, I saw somebody getting their heads smashed onto my neighbors. I remember it was a white, this was probably like 1989. No, maybe a little later than that. Probably like 91. And I remember it was a white Nissan Sentra, a 4-door one. And it was like, when they were like nice. It was like, I don't know. It was a cool car back then, especially if you're in the hood. I mean, it wasn't the hood, but you know what I mean. Shout out Mermaids, Mecca Town, especially back then. It was pretty banged out. But anyway, so I hadn't healed or dealt with all of those things that happened. I'd seen some crazy shit, and gone through some crazy shit, and a lot of stuff that, like. And I'd also decided my childhood was over. If you go back and listen to the first few episodes or whatever, when I recap a bunch of the shit, it, you know, dealing with like nearly being at suicide and all these other things, and getting to the point where I'm like, damn, I need to do something about all this. All this needs to get healed. I can't can't just go on living like this. You know, it's pretty fucking, it's just not healthy. It's not good. It's dangerous. It doesn't feel good. It's not fun. So let's just kind of jump right back into the ayahuasca ceremony, because if you're listening, this all ties into it and all leads back to it. So I'm out there. I'm going to just pick up where I left off, which was we had last touched on the snakes, and the animals kept appearing and attacking me and shit like that. So I what do I want to go with this first? Because this all kind of happened at the same time, but nah, this makes sense to do first. So after I went in and I blasted psoriasis, I came back out and I'm kind of like, whoa, what the hell was that? And what happens is the shaman, he's playing Icaros, and the Icaros are the songs, and they're like, it's almost like a form of teleportation because it literally takes your brain and your spirit and your soul down a different pathway. It's like I was going this way, now I'm going, whoa, chopping shit, chop my tripod thing. Now I'm going this way. You know, it's like we were going south, now we're headed east. And I realized that, the Icaros, they really take you on a journey. And if you have the right, this is why it's so important to have the right teacher, the right shaman with the right intentions and the right knowledge and all of that passed down, is because they take you on certain journeys, and they can literally take you on terrible journeys or helpful terrible journeys or great journeys or whatever. Because the thing is, the journey is about you. It's just the shaman guides it, how you choose, or not even how you choose, but what you need to interpret and what you choose to see and put emotions into or not into or whatever. That's all on you, you know, same way you live your normal life. But it's the same way. It's like, oh, like, all right, I'm from out of town. I'm going to come to San Diego. Calvin knows San Diego, so take me around town. All right, I'm California Cal. I can take you around town for sure, no doubt. So you come to me and I take you around, and it's like, all right, you're trusting that I'm going to take you to cool places, right? Like, you don't want to come here and you linked up with like a crackhead, and now you're like, fuck, you know? Um, that would suck, you know? So you got to have the right guides. Just the same way you would want to be led around the town the right way. You know what I'm saying? You want your thoughts and your journey to be led the right way, with the right protectors and the right barriers and the right direction. Because with the right direction, you don't have to end up in sketchy situations. You know what I mean? It's like, if I send you and your family to go check out Coronado, to go check out the seals in La Jolla, to go check out the beach, go check out the fucking meditation garden, Swami's, just, you know what I'm saying? Let's say I send you all those places. Or I'm like, all right, we're going to fucking East County, homie, to like the middle of fucking nowhere. And then we're going to go to fucking 43rd. And you know what I mean? It's like, we're going to go to 43rd and Logan. And it's just like, well, hold on. Like, damn, like, hold on. You know, it's like, depending where we go, it's like who we know and where is going to kind of determine where we go. So when the shaman's doing the Icaros, they take you on these journeys. And where my journey took me next, after I came from this like curiosity, what's in space? Because remember, the first place I went was outer space. And then the next place I went was the next deepest extreme, was inside myself. So I'm inside myself and I'm blasting my like ailments, you know, and this is what they say. They say psoriasis isn't curable in America, in the United States. And side note, America, when I was in Peru, I was like, oh yeah, in America, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm an American, blah, blah, blah. But the one time the homie David, shout out David, I fucking love you, brother. You're my fucking roll dog soul brother. I love you, bro. My boy David out in Peru, he goes, I'm from America too. And I was like, and this was just after having this whole conversation about him growing up in Peru. And he's like, yeah, me too. I'm from America. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, bro. Yeah, the funny thing is, people up in North America and your America don't think that, like, you guys talk like South America isn't America also. And I was just cracking up. I was like, we were laughing, you know, he wasn't being a dick about it. Like, we were just cracking up. I was like, damn, you're right, man. I say America, I'm American in America, as if South America is, like, they don't get to say that. Oh yeah, if somebody in a fucking South American accent says I'm from America, like, you're like, huh? But that's ridiculous. And I realize that's kind of just trained into our way of schooling and learning and shit, is like, No, we're the real one. We're the, our flag waves at the end when the aliens conquer the world. Like it's the American flag standing, not the fucking Mexican flag or the Canadian flag or the Chinese flag. It's the American flag. Oh,
Damn, dude.
shit. No, that's funny. So, anyway, back to my point. Um, I'll tie David back into this later, too, because I meet him on my latest ayahuasca Peru trip experience. Anyway, going back. So, like I said, I went inside myself. Psoriasis. Boom. Blow that shit up. Fuck you. Go through, and I love you at the same time. And I'm going through it. That's kind of like what I'm doing to myself. And then at some point, so it's like the Icaro changes and it's just like, oh, so like I said, the first ones to help you, like the first Icaro that happens is to kind of get you into the journey, get you into the zone. And as it starts transferring, it's kind of to help you purge so you can. But what's interesting is you have to see you don't have to. For me, I saw certain things and I would think about things and feel. It was like beyond thinking. It was like I would feel things that I remembered hurt me and felt like pain and stuff like that. Like stuff that the emotion lingers way deeper than any thought I could have about it. And so I'm inside myself. And the next place I go is after I blast psoriasis. I just started kind of getting like, yeah, fuck you, what's up? Like that, like then my inner speaking started acting. And then once that happened, I was like, hold on, what the fuck? I didn't really choose to, but I went, like my focus, I guess you could call it, my energy, my intention, I don't know, it was like I was like an atom, and I was like I could go where I wanted. And excuse me. And so the next place, but the next time I couldn't go where I wanted, it just went there, which was into my brain. And I'm in my brain and I'm looking around. And the best way I could describe this is, you remember, especially if you're from the 80s, 90s, like the 80s and 90s Gravitron at the fucking carnival or the fair. You guys remember that? The Gravitron? It's like the old school ones where they just look like an above ground pool that just fucking spun in circles and it's got mats on the inside. And then as they like got more cool over the years, it would start looking like spaceships and they'd have lights and it'd be fully enclosed. And then the boards on the inside would like slide up and down on these tracks. And basically what you do is like you're standing with your back against these like pads, this padded board. And the fucking thing just spins in a circle so fast that it just like holds you against it in your legs, and then the floor drops, and then you're literally just hanging. You're like stuck to the side of this thing as it's just spinning fast as fuck. And that was kind of what I felt like inside my brain looked and felt like. Like I was standing in the middle and everything was going around. And I have so many memories of being in that Gravitron thing when I was a kid. And I remember the fucking asshole kids would fucking like throw water or spit or something, but it was the best when it would come back and just land straight on them. Cause it's the Gravitron. Like, yo, like you throw it, it's gonna come straight back. So, oh man, and I remember man, this was just a fact. There would always be, and if you're a real 90s kid, I know you fucking remember this. There was always the special needs kid who would start walking around or like crawling, and it would be like, yo, like bro, like stay there, like don't get up, dude, like come on, man. Fortunately, I never saw anybody get hurt, but I know that ride fucked some people up for sure. Oh, no, it was just a different fucking vibe, dude. Anyway, that's what the inside of my brain is like, right? And then it kind of stopped spinning so much, and I'm kind of just, it's like, I'm just standing there, and it's like I guess the image that comes to mind is like when, you know, like the old Star Trek episodes that used to come on TV when they would get shot the fuck up by like the enemy or something, and you'd go, or like the alarms would be like, and then as soon as they would kind of like stabilize, it would go, and kind of like, and it had this kind of like buzz I don't know. Maybe that's just how I felt about it. It's like this certain hum or vibe, or like just like this energy, and I'm just standing in the middle of this gravitron spaceship sort of thing, and then I look, and it's weird because it's all kind of carnival themed. I just really realized this, and it's like carnival, but like in a spiritual, like how you see like mushroom paintings and ayahuasca paintings. It's like that. It's trippy. It's like festival, but it's very serious. And I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, I see all of a sudden. You guys remember? This is funny too. You guys remember that game? I don't even know what you call it. I guess it's a game or a ride or a obstacle course thing where it's like the big inflatable wall that's like hella industrial Velcro, and then you put on the bodysuit that's made of Velcro, and then you bounce, and you bounce as high as you can, and you try and stick your whole body to the wall because you got the Velcro suit and the wall's made of Velcro, and you try and jump as high as you can and stick yourself on there. You guys remember that? I never got to try that. I always wanted to, man. Anyway, like industrial Velcro. I remember sometimes people get stuck to that thing, and it would take like 2-3 people just fucking trying to yank them off. And I remember I had a clear vision where I went inside my head and it was industrial Velcro all around the whole thing. And I was like, it was interesting because normally myself, my consciousness, my thoughts were stuck to that Velcro. But this time I was unattached from the Velcro. I was like my own free will, and I can go and touch it and not get stuck to it. But I guess ordinarily I would get stuck to it. So it's kind of trippy because what I did was, like I said, I'm inside my head, and I realized that I don't stick to it anymore. And I ask Mama Aya, what is this? And I'm like looking around, it's all dark, but it's like very purposefully built though. A lot of it I didn't understand. But at the same time, I'm like, I know there's a purpose for this. I don't really understand what all this is, you know? It kind of like that feeling of like if you see somebody painting a painting and you're like, I don't know what this guy's drawing. And then all of a sudden you find it out in the last like 10% of them doing it that it's an upside down face they were painting. And you're like, oh shit, I thought he was painting like a lake or something, you know? It's kind of like that. And where it's like, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. You're like, okay, I know this is for something, but I don't know what it does or how it works or why, you know? So I asked Mama Aya, I'm like, what is this? And she kind of giggles, and I was like, yo, like, this is serious. Like, what are you giggling at? And then I'm just like, but I just remember feeling like a little kid, like, huh? Like, what? And she's like, that's your ego.
Damn, dude.
And I was like, that's my ego? She's like, yeah. And before she could even finish saying, yeah, I went, oh, fuck this shit. I fucking put my foot on the wall. I grabbed the corner. I'm just trying to rip all the seams and stitches and Velcro. It was like industrial Velcro stuck together where you have no place to like pry it from. Or you know those like tags. I don't know if they still come on luggage, but they used to come on luggage or like computer protection things where it was like a leather tag and it says, oh, try to rip me, and you can't rip it. It was like that. I was just like ripping as hard as I fucking can. And I'm pulling, and it doesn't fucking go. And I mean, it not at first, but I literally like till like my fucking fingertips are bleeding is when I'm in there just pulling, yanking this Velcro. It starts going, and I start fucking, there it goes. It finally starts moving. You know, like when you're trying to remove like an old ass sticker that's hella stuck on something. And sometimes if you can kind of just get the right little like jab into it, you can, the whole thing, like you can start getting like fat strips off of it. As if you couldn't tell, I'm a very visual sort of person when I think and see shit. So I'm fucking tearing my ego out, dude. I'm just ripping the whole fucking thing. Get rid of all this shit. And this is funny and sounds crazy, but this is what it is. I remember one of my spirit guides and Mama Aya were just standing there like cracking up, like, bro, like, okay, cool, and chill out. And I'm just like, fuck this. Like, I don't need any of this shit. And so I'm just going ham, dude. I'm tearing the whole lining of my brain and my ego out of the inside of my fucking brain. And I get to like the last, I have it written down in my old notes. I forget the number right now, but I want to say it's like 18%, or there was like, I had to leave 18% of ego, and it actually lives above my left eyebrow in my head, which is funny because I happen to get my tattoo there too. So I remember I'm like, it was like, stop, like serious. And everybody grabbed me. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, fuck this thing, like in a fucking rage. And like, no, you need it. I'm like, whoa, you guys have never talked to me like this. They were always very like calm. And so I'm talking with what I interpret as my spirit guide and Mama Ayahuasca. And they finally kind of like, are like, bro, stop. Here's some shit. So I kind of check myself. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, fuck this thing. And they're like, bro, like, you're fully in your ego right now, even though only that much is left.
Damn, dude.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, that's why I want to get rid of it. And like, they're like, nah, bro, like, you need some. And I'm like, nah, I don't. Like, my ego's never done anything good for me, dude. It's like, I've accomplished good things, and it was for terrible reasons. You know, it's like there was some sort of motive or some sort of thing, or, you know, I don't know, that's behind it. And I'm just fucking tripping, dude, because they're stopping me, and I'm like, I'm wanting to just fuck it up as much as I can to the absolute maximum. So what they end up telling me that finally communicated with me, I kept asking, why, so angrily. And they didn't want to tell me, but I guess they realized that I was actually that mad, or like curious or frustrated or whatever you want to call it, that they're like, look, your ego is your creativity.
Damn, dude.
I was like, what? And it just hit me again. I was like, damn, like your ego is your creativity. That's its original intended purpose.
Damn, dude.
Is for creativity and to acknowledge self-worth.
Damn, dude.
Right? Like, wow. That's what ego's actually for? So we don't need to get rid of all ego. We need to get rid of the majority of it. And the thing is we need some of it, because that's our creativity. That's our ability to say, hey, look, I wrote this stuff down, and I think it's worthy of putting out here for you guys. For me to have any confidence in what I'm doing in the show and any of it, I have to be willing to be like, you know what? It's good enough. And whether it is or isn't, it doesn't matter. It only is because I said so. So that is egotistical of me to say, you know what? My thoughts and my writings and my recordings are worth being heard and are worth people listening to, and it's worth my time to do this. And it's worth time not being spent with my kids or my whoever for when I do this. So it's crazy, because that's my ego that says, yo, you're worthy, you should do it, and you can do it.
Damn, dude.
Crazy shit, right? Damn, man. So our creativity is what allows us to have free original thoughts. Our ego equals that, but we've lost it and it goes overboard in it. Our ego ties to our imagination, which is our creation zone. And once our ego and our imagination have tied together, we've created this dangerous blossoming ego, which you see is the typical ego that needs to be cool and right. For some reason, it's like we all have this need to be right. And the more we can lessen our ego, the more we can lessen that. And at the same time, our ego is good to a certain extent and degree. I say don't get rid of it. I say train it, learn it, trim it, become friends with it. The same way like gaining some muscle or losing fat. It's like you don't got to hate it and just go fucking, get out of here. But you should probably train it, engage, and get to know it better. You know what I mean? So on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And after these messages, we'll be right back.
Damn, dude.
This world we living in, man, it ain't nothing
Everybody wanna harm you. What up, everybody? Welcome, Bike. And, man, we've been going in on this. So that is what I learned and interpreted about the ego, is that it's a helpful tool when exercised correctly.
Damn, dude.
Right? That's pretty dope. That gives us a new opportunity to kind of like reframe our ego, because many dudes and women, I should just say people, can't get out of their ego, or they've tapered their ego into this weird way of living that just like, where's the light? That's just this whole weird cover up, and they don't even know if they're happy or unhappy. You ever meet people like that? It's like, do you even ever feel sad, or do you even actually ever feel real excitement? You're kind of just always, yeah, like, damn, let's get deep in this shit. Face it, go deep, go dive. It's fun, man. Yeah, it hurts and it sucks sometimes, but on the other end, it's fun, Nothing good comes easy. That's just fucking factual Maxwell, dude. Really, though. So, excuse me. Crazy. So what next? Oh my goodness. Man, this was crazy, brazy, crazy, whatever you identify with. If you're a cow, crazy. Okay, never mind me. Oh, that's so stupid. Okay. I'm a huge fan of like dumb dad jokes. Not like I'm a fan of them, but I just happen to say them a lot. And I usually am laughing at them harder than everybody else. It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood, Holmes. So what was crazy? Auto fashion. Crazy AF. What was crazy? Oh, that drives me crazy when people say crazy as AF. Crazy as fuck. Like, what? Okay, anyway. So, next place I went, I started ripping my ego out, and I started seeing how the first time I ever did mushroom, or not the first time, but whenever I would do mushrooms, psilocybin, and by the way, I only do them ceremoniously now, and I won't ever do it like a party sort of thing. I only did that once, but it led to like a whole spiritual thing for me in turn. Anyway, I realized all those times I was diving into my ego realm.
Damn, dude.
Like, I was diving into the world of my ego every time I would go on those trips and do those journeys. And what I realized was like, this is interesting, because I would go in and have access to taming it and communicating with it. And I was like, I don't know what the zone is that I go to or whatever, but I love this. It's fucking cool, because I keep coming out of it humbler and just kind of a better person. And I realized that during ayahuasca, I really got to look back and see that. And I'm like, wow, this is a trip, dude. Like, I see how the ego just inflates and goes crazy. And sometimes I say shit that comes off like that or is like that, and I catch myself. I'm like, fuck. Especially when I start talking about my swim business, immediately in my brain, I start speaking in this condescending way, and I'm like, I need to stop fucking doing this. Like, why do I start talking like this? And it's almost like I'm parent shaming, like, nothing extreme, but it leaves people feeling like that. And I've been called out. Shout out to my homie Adam. What up, brother? Called me out before when I was posting something like that, and I was like, fuck, man, like, you're right, dude, damn. So I'm just kind of like, weird, like, why does this keep happening? And to me, I guess what I've concluded was that because I know so much about my certain field, and I'm so good at it, and I have so much experience at it, which in turn gets interpreted as I'm so good at it, which takes me out of a I'm here to learn space, which puts me in my ego. And then so once I come from this, you need to learn from me. I really do have the experience and I really do have the knowledge. Even though that's true, it's not my place to speak to people like that. You know what I mean? And that's how like bosses get in over their head and they become fucking assholes and whatever, is shit like that. So, carrying along here. The ego, man, that shit's a fucking trip and a half. All right, we just had a malfunction. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Something got disconnected. So, hopefully not too much got cut off. Fuck. Sorry if it did. Like I was just saying, it's like, fuck, the ego's fucking crazy, man. And it's a trippy ass thing. So, carrying along, once I had that whole conversation with Mama Aya and my spirit guides about ego and its usefulness for creativity and its usefulness for creating things and accomplishing things and becoming successful and even being able to create what successful looks like. That is a product of healthy ego. Now, often we go and we lose it and we flip the script and go the opposite, like how we just talked about. So the next place I go on this journey is I start going into my... Was this the first night or second night? So, okay, so I think now this moves on to the second ceremony. And it's like, and I should, did I say this? I don't know. But all the ceremonies take place ideally at nighttime, pitch black in the Moloko. You can't see anything. And anybody who uses light just uses like a red light so it doesn't hurt eyes and it keeps everything like, your eyes don't fucking bug out, this little very dim one. And it's actually really cool. So I remember we take it, same thing, go up, kind of say a little, give thanks and whatever. I take it, I sit back down. I'm just kind of sitting there, I'm meditating. Again, meditation helped everything because I could always come back to my breathing. And when you can come back to your breathing, that's how you know you're alive. So when you can adjust the breathing, you can adjust the mentality. And I realized that big time. So instead of freaking out as I'm going, I'm just breathing and I'm remembering who I am in real life. And when you're breathing and you're being aware of your breathing, you know you are alive and you know that you're present and you are right there where your breathing is at. And breathing is the source of life. And if you're at the source of life, then that means you're with God, right? If you believe in God or you're there with the Creator, if you're at the source of life, then you are being of what God or higher spirits or what the Creator or whatever wants you to be doing, right?
Damn, dude.
That's deep. I never thought of that like that. But so I go into my body and I'm like, all right, I'm fucking chilling, man. The first thing I see is I see the grid of life kind of appear, and it appears green, and it kind of comes, and I start seeing different images, and then that's kind of how I know it's kind of coming on. Basically, what I'm able to see is everything that's invisible. I can see all of life in the in-between space. I was able to see all of life in the in-between space. And in that in-between space, it's like there is there's a grid that exists. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then just keep rolling with it. You'll get it eventually. It's like there's matter in between. If we sat across from each other at a table looking at each other square in the eyes, there's stuff that exists between your eyes and my eyes, linking and locking. There is airspace, there's life, there's spirit, there's energy, there's life that exists between us, even though we can't see it right then and there. But in that realm and in that world, you can see it and it exists, if that's what you're supposed to see. So I see that and I start seeing how the grid of life, everything works. I see sacred geometry. I see how everything is built. I see how humans are constructed. I see how wood is constructed. I can see all the elements inside of the same, at the same time, basically. So I start going and I'm just going deep into my brain, vision, thoughts, spirit, meditation, prayer. And it was crazy because now that I had that whole conversation with my ego, I came back and I remember I was able to like start playing kind of. This was the first experience I got where I got to start playing because there was the next part I'm getting to is where it turned dark. Very fucking dark for me. Um but before we get to that, uh I remember I'm laying down, I'm kind of just like having this little like mini celebration in my head. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? So I realized that little ability, my little atom that I said it was, that I could like fly into my hand, fly into my brain, fly into wherever I can kind of travel. I was able to go to space. I was able to go to the deepest depths of space, and I was able to instantly come back to the deepest depths of the inside of my physical body. So I can kind of just zoop and just teleport because I'm, like I said, I'm in dream world. I'm consciously in dream world where I can ask questions and do things and kind of do what I want. You know, like my pure self wants, like what kid me would do if you gave me the ability to fly. Like little kid, you know, like before I was hurt and you know, trauma occurred or anything. I mean, granted, I'm sure trauma occurred while I was in the womb and whatever, you know, shit happens. I don't know. I was kind of there. But, so because I realized I can kind of transport wherever through this pathway, through this like information highway of this dream world, and I can go through this, I can go down this highway and I can pop into people's minds who would be receptive of it. So the first person I went and talked to was my dad, because I always had issues with my dad. So making peace with, no, it wasn't even necessarily making peace with him. It was more so making peace with myself, because if he would say or suggest something, it would trigger me because I would take it as, you mean it this way, you mean it that way. But the reality is like, he means it how he means it, and I'm just flipping the script and making it mean something else. And let's even say he does mean it in the worst way possible. Why do I have to get upset by somebody else doing something? And my dad never wanted anything bad for me. He never said or did or suggested. I'm just saying that, you know. Like, I'm just saying, even if somebody has bad intentions or bad shit to say about you or whatever, it's on you to pick if you want to be offended by that person's shit that they say or not. And if whoever's saying something bad about you is an idiot, then why let them conquer you? That means you're letting an idiot control your brain, and that's not wise.
Damn, dude.
So first place I go is I go to my dad, and I have this fucking I have this conversation with him when he's like sleeping, like in his dreams. And then it was crazy because it was kind of just made this peace. And I remember I left clues, because kind of in that world, it's hard when you come back, it's hard to remember everything because it feels like several years have gone by when you're there. Like time. At the same time, it also feels like it's like 30 seconds because time disappears. Like, in that world, you really, really, really understand how much time is man-made. I mean, yes, it exists because we were there then and we're here now, but I'm talking about like clock time. Like, it's so made up that we can literally change it. We could literally vote to change it, and we can change time. Time is not as strong and doesn't have such a hold over us like we think. We just kind of all become slaves to it, you know, not all, but a lot of us do. And once we're a slave to time, we're fucked, because most of the time we're lucky to be a slave to time. Often we're slaves to money, which is because of it, that is being a slave to time, and then we're just like never free. So anyway, getting back to my point is, I had this conversation with my dad in his dreams. Next person, I think I saw my mom. Same thing, me and my mom were cool, though we didn't really have much to like hash out or past life shit to heal or anything like that. And then the next person was my brother, And I don't even remember what the context was of our conversations. I don't know if it was like me giving advice or me being like, dude, I'm so proud of you. Like, I fucking love you. Like, thank you for being you, giving him his peas. And I think it was that sort of thing. Excuse me. So I just remember I was having these conversations with them, and later on, and I wrote down what I think I wrote down what I could. But I remember I came back and I remembered little pieces of what I said in our conversations. And I came back, I said, hey, did you have any dreams about us talking? They're like, what? Yeah. And then we basically, it came towards like, dude, like, I would have them say what the dream was, and then I would add to it, and they'd be like, holy fuck, oh yeah, I remember that. And I was like, dude, that was a full real conversation between us. And they were like, what the fuck? And I remember like my dad like was not having it at that time. Like he wasn't ow, damn, the cat just scratched me, bro, chill out. This is Buttons over here chilling. If you can't see him, he's a little furry guy. Damn, what was I saying? uh so yeah, so I visited them, and I remember I had those conversations with them, and we were all just tripped out. It was like, whoa. But I remember I came home and I had the dopest conversation with my dad, where it was just like he didn't understand why I was going. He didn't understand how I could just be so like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. I don't know anything about it. Let's go. And it just didn't make sense to him. Probably wouldn't make sense to a lot of parents. So it was crazy because that led to like such a better at home environment. Ow. And it's like when your at home environment is better, everything's better. It's like that caused our whole relationship to be smoother, our communication to be open. That was like a big deal. And then also we had both done Landmark too, the classes I was talking about, the self-development classes. And that was a big thing that helped us free up our communication and be able to be ourselves with each other, and really be ourselves, which is cool. And then I also remember visiting my son Nate. I also remember I visited my homie Sebastian. And the thing is like, it's only for people who are gonna. It's not only, but that was it's weird because it was like that's what needed to happen. I didn't really have a choice in who I could pick. Yeah, but I just remember thinking about different people and just being so thankful for all the people in my life. And that was another big aspect of my last time I went, actually. But so I visited all the people in their dreams, and it was crazy because they could actually all remember it and rehash the conversations, which was a fucking trip. Bro, stop. Dude, I love you, but like, please stop fucking scratching and biting me, bro. Cat wants attention or affection, and he's just like all over me, man. I don't know if you can hear him purring in the mic. The cat swears he's a lion, dude. Anyway, so another thing that's trippy that happened this time at the same ceremony was my how can I say this, especially so it makes sense? So for me, I always felt like I had angels on my back. And to me, my first main angels I ever had in life. Ow, dude, cut that out. Shit. Okay, sorry, people. This cat is driving me crazy, dude. Look it on the camera if you see. He's cute. But damn, bro, that hurts. Stop, please. No more, no more. Damn, homie. In high school, you used to be the man, homie. Bro, please stop. I'm getting my ass kicked over here in my own freaking studio. So I'd always felt like I had angels that watched my back. And to me, growing up my whole life, it was my little sister Winky, rest in peace Winky, and my grandma, rest in peace Grandma Taylor. I felt like they were always just over, like on my back, on my shoulders, almost like wings. And I remember the shaman was doing a cleansing on me. He had the tobacco, he had the rose water, and all the stuff, and we're going through it in Sage and Palo Santo. And all of a sudden, I remember like Jen sees it, everybody sees it, and the other people in the room see it, and I felt it, just my back, like I just felt like fucking something come out of my shoulders is what it felt like. And like, it basically was like preparation, because then I also so as I got older, I felt like Pablo was another one of my angels. Rest in peace, Pablo, whose birthday happens to be today on the 18th. This episode comes out in a day or two after, but Tuesday, I think on the 20th, so you'll hear this in a day or two. I just totally brain froze. So Pablo, because he was one of my angels. And I always felt like he was just there. Like whenever I would just maximum freak out or I didn't know what to do, like they were always there for me. And I would just hear their voices or their thoughts or their feelings or the feeling of them like come through somehow. And it was weird because I felt them all like exit my body, and where instead of them being with me now, they were hovering. And I'm like, where are you guys going? And they were kind of like, oh, we're going to the next realm. And I'm like, and they're like, you want to go? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. So I start going, and I start fucking flying off to another dimension with them. But then all of a sudden, my spirit guide, he goes, stop. He grabs me by the ankle, holds me. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what the hell? And they're all stopped. They're like, what? Like, dude, no, like, he can't go there. Like, he's not dead. He can't go where you guys are. Like, he didn't say he's not dead, but that was what I interpreted it as, was like, they, like, say for example, I guess this is a good way to interpret it. How I kind of see it is like, you ever lose somebody and then the next like week or two, like light switches get flipped on and off, or like their favorite TV show will just like pop onto a TV that's unplugged, or like weird little things like that. It happens for like a week or two, maybe or a month, depending how big the circle of influence and whatever. Shit like that. Like, how come that slows down? How come the dreams being visited slows down? I believe because they move to like to the next level, to the next realm. And so I feel like even beyond that, there's a next realm and a next and a next and a next and a next. And it all essentially goes to the end, which would be unconditional love. And the more that we graduate, the more we get a step closer to really being of it and being that, really being unconditional love as a human being in our living, in our soul, in our whatever, maybe not human being, but as our being. So they tell me that, I'm like, what the heck? I'm kind of confused. And it was like this whole halt on the whole, it was like this whole celebration. And then it became this huge halt. And everything started getting really like weird. The whole vibe kind of started getting like like somebody gonna tell him type of thing. And I was just standing there. I started getting so confused because I was hanging out with my little sister who died when she was almost 2. I was hanging out with my best friend Pablo, who was murdered when he was 20. And I was hanging out with my grandma, who passed away when she was in her 50s. And I'm like, yeah, we're going. But basically what I learned was that if I were to go, I would have died in this world. And I can't do that yet because I'm not going to die for a while. I just know that. I'm going to live to be old because I've made it this far, which I wasn't supposed to. And I beat many odds to be able to be here still. So what ended up happening was the worst and hardest thing I've ever lived through and experienced in my life, which was all of my angels, the people who I considered angels, all dying and leaving me at this same fucking time.
Damn, dude.
I literally had to experience the death of all the people who were closest to me and that I loved the most, all die at the same fucking time. It was the most painful shit I've ever fucking experienced. I really can't even begin to describe just how much that fucking hurt. And I became useless for the next 2 days, and I just wanted to die. I wanted to be dead. I just didn't know what to do or where to go or how to fucking keep going. It just felt like literally just me on this whole planet by myself. That was easily the hardest, most emotional thing I've ever experienced. So,
Damn, dude.
on that note, we're going to wrap up part 5 of Journey to Inner Peace. And we're going to come back with part 6 of Journey to Inner Peace on the next episode, which will be episode 35 of the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn, dude.
So I appreciate you guys listening. Be sure you go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of those good things. And be sure to leave us a 5-star written review. And make sure you share with a friend. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We can help save some people's lives and help lace some people the fuck up. So on that note, Rooster Tail, take us out. That's at Rooster Tail Official, Tale, Rooster Tale Official. Much love. Peace.